Hello everybody, I hope you're well. For some reason, whenever I film a YouTube video, the hello guys is always the most awkward part. I don't know, I can never get it right. I asked you guys on Instagram what you wanted to see on my YouTube channel, and the #1 request was always just tips. Tips for going in Instagram following, tips for painting, tips for starting an art business, tips for starting a web shop. So today I thought we could do a things I wish I knew before I started my art business. Oh my god, you can be like a little apprentice and you can shadow me throughout my day. What's in the box? Okay, I know this is gonna sound super fucking basic because you've heard it in every single Disney movie and every single kids show of all time, but I really needed to hear this when I started out, and that is that your dream is very possible and you already have what it takes. It sounds super cliche, and I would have never believed you if you tried to tell me this a year ago. It has never been easier to be an independent artist than it is right now, thanks to social media and thanks to the algorithms people are hating on so much that will show your work to people who aren't following you. This one based on a photo I took in Korea. This one of Andy eating. I have these of Andy sleeping. I think they're really wholesome. I actually haven't really painted in multiple weeks because I've been so busy with the YouTube channel. So it feels really nice to get back into it and also do it like on a smaller scale. Which brings me to my next topic, which is art block. People are always asking me how I get over my art block and stuff, and honestly, you tell me. I think it's extra hard for artists because like forcing creativity can be like soulfully damaging and like result in a completely other type of burnout than I think a normal job would. But I think what I've tried to do is like combat it by drinking a lot of taro drinks. Or I will do like smaller sketchbook stuff where I don't feel any pressure and where I try to like simulate what a drawing session would look like when I was little or before I turned it into a job and I felt all this pressure. When I've been like working a lot and doing a lot of commissions and stuff, I will literally convince myself that I never liked drawing. I hate art. I am only doing this for the money, which is it's obviously not true because I have dedicated like most of my life to it, and also I am barely making any money. So if I have like anxiety in my body over painting, I will do something else, maybe hang out with Andy, have some fun, go outside, do something else for just like 30 minutes maybe, and usually when you come back you're quite fresh. Because for me, I feel like pressuring myself to paint when I don't feel like it actually has a negative effect, and it will make me dread painting even more, and I will fall into this loop basically. So I try to break the loop, and if I feel happy, I paint, regardless of how many orders I have to pack. I paint first and then I pack the orders. And there are a lot of work tasks in my life that I actually find very low effort but also fun. For example, just like cutting stickers in squares. Like things where I can like turn off my brain, watch a show or something, but I'm also not wasting any time because it needs to be done. Like those types of tasks, I tend to save them for where I feel very, very drained and very unmotivated.
Entire existence to your art.
No.
Seriously, yes, seriously. It's the best advice I can give.
No.
Yeah.
I think you should opt for a more sustainable.
No.
I don't think you should dedicate your life to anything other than living.
Well.
Hold on, I don't know advice. Do you have any advice if you want to put them in hospital?
No.
The way you have been doing your art would break people for life.
When you're not practicing, someone else's.
Stop with this
Remember
toxic
that.
ass. No. Yourselves. Listen to your body. Rest. No practice.
You don't need gear to do anything. Don't get hung up on I have to buy this, I have to buy this. If you're creative, you can get away with almost anything. Like you don't need expensive things or high quality stuff.
That's coming from
me.
You. How many lenses do we have again? After I've been researching like tips to start on YouTube, there are so many people who buy like a really expensive camera, setup, lighting, mic. I think if you try low scale, you will really notice the areas of where like gear could really make a difference. For me with the vlog camera, I was about to buy a mic, but now that I'm listening to the audio, I was like, okay, the mic is kind of fine, but the battery dies, and then you can buy the batteries instead of buying like everything at once and then not using.
3 tubes of paint, like that can actually inspire you to do something like really unique and like creative.
Good. Yeah.
But if you have 30 tubes of paint to choose from, you're not gonna know where to start. Like it's gonna become like a.
I think if you are like in the mindset of needing certain types of gear all the time, it will like keep you procrastinating.
Exactly.
But I can't start YouTube until I have a camera, and I can't do this. I'm not filming this. Another thing that I've noticed now from talking to you is that you probably shouldn't compare your journey to other people, because I feel like every artist like functions very differently. Like I said, he's like a practicer, a hardcore Asian dad son vibe. And I know for me personally, like having that pressure on myself would break me and like it would ruin everything. I paint the most and I paint the best when I am happy in my relationships, the sun is out and I am eating properly, I'm sleeping properly. Like it really, like that's for my art personally, the best thing I can do is take care of it. I wish I realized sooner that I'm especially dedicating to people in art school is that you really shouldn't listen too much to anybody. So when I started art school, I started hating my art style and my old work, and I felt like it wasn't good enough, it wasn't real art because it wasn't really trendy at my school to do realism. This made me attempt to do like more abstract stuff just to please the other people in my crit class or my teachers. I really love abstract art done right. But if there's anything you cannot fake, it is abstract art. Like if you're just trying to mimic the look of it to please other people while simultaneously hating what you're doing, you will not be making great art, trust me. Like in that era of my life, I couldn't think or feel anything other than true love for my fiance. Like the thought of like choosing to paint something else when that amazing spectacular person I was just falling in love with and getting to know, it was just so weird to me. Like how can I like ignore this? I think it was in January of 2023. I just like looked myself in the mirror and I was like, I either give up on art forever because apparently I don't have what it takes to make real art, or I just stop listening to people and I paint what I am like really like desiring to paint. I remember painting this piece called Business in the Front, and I remember like I regained so much of my love for painting that I had literally like forgotten completely. And then I think like God or the universe or whatever ended up like throwing me a bone or like giving me a sign to keep doing it, because I actually won a prize at the Portrait Now competition at Phillies Boys Castle. But I don't think you should rely on outside validation, but in that moment where I had been told by experts and other arts people that my art was like terrible, like it broadened my horizons that oh, maybe this school isn't like the epitome of art in the world. Another thing that I have learned since becoming a full-time artist is how much I took my social life for granted. We were all here for the pandemic, and I think it became very clear to everybody like how much of a social animal humans are. Me and Andy have in a way basically like chosen an eternal form of lockdown since we're both working from home with jobs that like require you to work so much for free, you know, in promoting yourself and in learning skills, practicing, upholding. Like, there's a lot of free work that you don't get paid for, which also means that you kind of have to work like maybe twice the hours as the normal person. I think many creative people and maybe also like content creators can relate that you are never working and you're always working and you're always free, and then you also have no free time because like your life and work is very like intertwined. And for me that's a small price to pay considering the amount of freedom that you get and that I can do what I love, and I'm very happy with my decisions. But one thing I would do differently is that I would maintain my friendships better when starting out. It's not like my fault because I think like all high school friend groups can relate to like once you graduate everybody kind of goes their own separate ways, and it's very natural, you know, somebody's studying and you know my best friend joined the military and they all find new friends. I am so happy for them, but like since they are studying or working or doing other stuff, like they have a lot of new social contexts and situations and relationships to take care of, whereas I have basically lost all of mine at the same time, and it can be lonely sometimes, and I sometimes regret not like trying more actively to like grow naturally as a part of their new lives. The best way to explain it is that I would say that we are no longer part of each other's life, so to see each other we have to both step out of our thing, which makes it a bit harder to nurture the relationship, if that makes sense. I also think one thing you should be prepared for if you decide to start a creative career is that it takes so much time and effort and energy. Every time I do hang out with my friends there's always this like guilt in the back of my mind that I should be working, and it's really hard to enjoy myself and to be present with them. So I don't know what my actual life lesson here is other than like I think you have to be prepared to work a little harder and to put a little bit of extra effort into your social circle, because you won't get it naturally through like work or school where you all hang out every day and you all have the same references and you can talk shit about the same people. Like you no longer have that, and you kind of have to make maybe more of an effort to be a part of each other's lives. So it's currently 2 a.m. and I've sat for hours ordering a bunch of stuff. I ordered like packaging supplies, tote bags, and like the little pictures for the little magnets I'm making. And I'm really tired. Another thing that I think is good to keep in mind when starting, especially if you're transitioning it like from a hobby to a business, is to simply just take it like one step at a time. There will always be things to learn and you will never be like truly ready, if that makes sense. For example, with my YouTube channel I was like, oh no, I don't have a mic yet, I can't start recording, and then when I started making videos, like, oh no, the first video should be about this, the first video has to be in Q&A. Have you ever seen a first video that isn't awkward? Like, I think one of the benefits with like learning as you go and not preparing so much is that you will be like water. It will be easier for you to adapt. Like once you've tested the waters, you will see what works for people, what resonates with people, what is actually like doable, what is worth your time, like what type of videos are low effort. For example, when me and Andy were first starting our Instagram account, Cyber's Making Out, we like for 6 months before even creating the account, we started bulking up on like a bunch of like really high quality, like almost fashion photography aesthetic photos, And then when we started posting, we realized, oh my god, nobody is looking at photos on Instagram. We really gotta make reels. And we hadn't filmed any behind the scene content, so like most of those photos will probably never be posted. Do you have any piece of art advice for someone who is considering starting?
You do you. One more banana. Life's too short to do art.
No, but you are a full-time creator.
Full-time loser.
No, you're not. No.
I'm a full-time nobody.
You have been working creatively for all your life. You've never had a fucking
money.
job. Artwork that I made today. They're all of Andy or my... I think maybe I will do like a whole ass series of you snooping. I really like the way the sheets are turning out on this. I am thinking of maybe doing like 30 of Andy sleeping, and then the sheets will low-key be like connected, so it will look like he's... A bunch of small Andys are sleeping in a spider web.
I will have to sleep for 20 hours.
Oh shit, so good.
Maybe a good tip is to try to have a schedule for yourself. My advice for starting out: stay smooth
in the night. How's that working out for us?
I have a tip actually. One tip is that when you're working from home, get dressed as if you're going out.
Doing your makeup really helps too. You have to be slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
As if you're in an office. I also think like if you're slightly uncomfortable in your clothes, like when you actually stop working, I think you will be able to relax in your free time more if you have that kind of switch. Especially if you're working in your bedroom always. And eating and sleeping and hanging out and seeing your friends and packing your order, like we do everything in this room. And I think clothes would be a great way for us to kind of
switch mindset.
We're not gonna do it though, but
I do it. I do it.
No.
Yes, I do it.
Watch the vlogs. You always wearing the same exact things as you wake up.
The right type of mindset to not feel like a slob.
I agree, but my problem is that every time I do it, I ruin all my favorite clothes with paint.
That's true.
I am stuck.
I have like a work outfit for your painting, which you kind of do. You have your pants.
Oh, they are so filled with anxiety and dread. If you don't know, I like my painting clothes that I wore every single day at my horrible ass art school. Like I set myself up for failure. I wore my old cashier work pants that I think have been washed once in 5 years. Wear this shirt with a person in agony / orgasm, we don't know.
/ both.
If you accidentally get it wet, it will just like leak out brown water and it's so gross. Liquid. I have like so many tears have been shed in this outfit, and like every time I see it, I get like my chest gets heavy, and that's my current work outfit.
Yet you wear it every day.
I don't want to ruin my results.
Just your life. And sometimes I like to like get an outfit that suits the vibe of the music that I'm going to play.
To like, if you can't, because like if you can't do it with your building like a normal person, you can at least do it with your clothes, because it's very important to separate work from home life. Good night, everybody. I am going to leave you with one last tip, which is to fake it till you make it. Look at me, I'm pretending to be a YouTuber, but I have zero experience or any idea how to do it. If you start posting like an influencer, people will look at your page and register influencer. If you market yourself as a professional artist, people will assume that you are a professional artist and they will grant you professional artist opportunities. I was posting on Instagram and then I noticed that when I was changing the way I sounded, where I would do like my art journey, my art career, and when I was posting like as if I was more professional, even though I'd never had an exhibition and never made a single sale, like when I posted as if that was like a regular part of my job, galleries started giving me opportunities to like exhibit their work. And like the first time a brand reached out to me as an influencer, I was so excited, but instead I played it cool and I was like, I usually charge this and this and this for the collaboration. But that's it for today's video. Good night, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. Say as and subscribe.
Yeah.
If you enjoy my videos, I would recommend subscribing because my goal is to post every single week for a while, and you don't want to miss out. Goodbye. Good night. Now I'm going to sleep.
Och den där lampan.
Jag ska se.
Alldeles good.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Follow Agnes on YouTube. And then go practice.
Practice and follow Agnes on YouTube. And you will be a successful artist.
You will become a star.
Goodbye.
If you follow my simple 12-step method.